Hello, my name is Jeremy Rames, and for those of you that don't know me, I'm a navigator with ATBS, and I'm also a trainer with Roehl Transport. I am an independent contractor with Roehl. I lease on and I train for them. So today I wanted to talk about the setup that I have here and give you guys a little bit more insight into some of the possibilities that you could have set your business up like. So some of the potential ways to establish your business. So for my partners, I delegate responsibility, and it's also beneficial to be able to discern value, to be able to see your partner and utilize their full potential, so you're maximizing all that potential. So with Roehl specifically, I'm in a contract with them, so I have contract rate freight. I'm not running the spot market. And if I had to give an estimate on what it is, it's approaching $2 per mile. It's approximately $2 per mile for that rate. This is factoring in the fuel surcharge and the training that I'm doing for them. So, there's value to be had here. So, specifically when I partner with Roehl, I'm using all their equipment. So they have 3,000 trucks and 7,000 trailers, something like that. And a lot of my loads are dropping hooks. So I get to utilize their trailers, and I get to utilize their maintenance department. And these guys, I get a discounted rate, and I trust them. I don't have to worry about suspicious maintenance guys doing unnecessary repairs or things like that. I trust these guys to get me in and out real quick. And they are, quick repairs too. I don't have to sit around all day. The final biggest value that Roehl has is their fuel discount. So they buy their fuel wholesale, and they pass along the discounts to their independent contractor partners. So this is pretty substantial sometimes. I've seen it be as far as $2 per gallon cheaper than like over on the East Coast or something. Just for an example, I'm looking at it right now, and I'll pull up my discount or my fuel level from yesterday. So yesterday it was $3.20 in Marshfield, and it was, in Atlanta, Georgia, it was $3.40. So whatever, this is April 3rd. That's today's date. So you can compare those numbers around, and I'll actually go to Mudflat because this will give you a good idea on what kind of discount I'm looking at, because fuel is a big expense when it comes to operating your business. So here I have Mudflap, and with Mudflap, it gives me the region fuel prices. That's how I use it. I'm like, okay, do I want to buy fuel over here? So if we go over here to Chicago area, it's $3.70, $4.10, $3.60, and mind you, this is with the Mudflap discount on their app, so it's going to be even higher at some places there. So let's check out Marshfield, where I first quoted. I see $3.40, $3.50, $3.40. I'm not seeing any $3.30s. No, this is northern Wisconsin by Marshfield up here. $3.50, $3.60, things like that. So it's at least approximately a quarter for Marshfield cheaper. But if I were to go over to like the East Coast, and I were to see what fuel prices look like, $3.99, $4.06, $4.20, $5.29 in New York, and again, this is with the discount on the app. So that's another big value add. So when I'm talking about these rates, and I tell drivers I get paid $2 per mile, some of them look at me like, oh man, you're getting taken advantage of. Oh well, I'm pretty transparent when it comes to my numbers. So let me know what you guys think, because like I say, I make these videos, I put them out, profit and loss for 2021, profit and loss for 2022. You see how much money I'm spending on fuel. You see how much money I'm making when it comes to mileage and when it comes to training. So I feel like I'm being treated fairly, but I lack context. I lack a frame of reference to base this off of. All I have is the information that I've gathered from other drivers and other people in similar positions. So that covers a brief summary of my partnership with Roehl and how I have my business structured there. It's really beneficial because that training pay does a couple things. It's $90 a day, but in addition to that, I'm able to stretch my days a little bit. So I will be on duty in the passenger seat training over my 14-hour clock, and I can be a little bit more flexible when it comes to making appointments. I'm not locked in at that 14-hour firm thing, because I can just pop the student in behind the wheel, and I'll just supervise from the passenger seat. This is another incentive for training if somebody were to consider that. Now moving on to ATBS, these guys, they do my taxes and my books. Specifically, they have a $20 a week program. This is the basics that they offer. They do taxes and quarterly tax estimates. From there, if you use their business consulting services, or if you use a little bit more intense, complex services. For example, I'm transforming my business from a sole proprietor to an S Corp, which means I'm going to be a W-2 employee at my own company with everything that entails. So they do my accounting, and like I say, it's just this is the top tier service that they have to offer, and it has been really valuable to me. They help keep me organized. They do monthly profit and loss statements, and I have any questions that I need answered, I just call them up, and they're right there to assist me in whatever I need. So again, when we're going to gather our team to delegate responsibilities, this is the way I have it set up. I have it set up so that I have a team of people there to assist me. And not only that, I like to view it as providing excellent service to my customers, right? So I view Roehl as my customer, and I try to train their drivers as well as I can, and I try to be on time and provide the best service possible for the shippers and the customers as well. I think that when you're coming at it from a mindset of, and I can't remember which president said this, but I know there was one of the presidents, I'll probably look it up here in a second. He said, "Ask not what your country could do for you, but ask what you could do for your country." And this describes the mindset that I'm talking about right here, because I think a lot of drivers are like, what can I get? What is the incentive for me? And I think that the mindset that I'm choosing to operate under is, what value can I contribute to my business partners? What value can I contribute to society? What can I do? And the more valuable that I become, there's a direct correlation to how much money I make. So if somebody's out there, and just they're in it for the money, I think that is a secondary, that's not the primary reason I do this. If it was the primary reason, then it would be less fulfilling. The reason I do this is because I like it. I like training people. I like helping people out. I like getting people started in a new career, because I had a good experience with the trucking industry. After a couple years of driving, I was able to secure my first home. I got a mortgage, and I've been married, and I am married, and I have kids. And so I'm able to provide a life for my family, and this has enabled me to do so. And it's also the biggest value that I have taken away from trucking personally. It's not the money that I've made, it's the things that I've learned when I was driving. The information that I expose myself to helps me succeed in all aspects of my life, specifically with my relationships. This is the fundamental cornerstone of success in my mind, is the relationships that we have. The relationships that we have with ourselves, with our spouses, with our business partners, and with society. And I think that when we start to improve our communication, when we start to improve the perspective that we have on these relationships, again, it's not what can I get out of you, it's what can I do to have a mutual exchange in value, and what can I do to make myself more valuable, more desirable, and overall more desirable to work with. more desirable to work with. So keeping these things in mind, this is where I'm coming from when I establish my relationship with my business partners, and when I am founding and structuring my business. So thanks for sticking around and watching it this long. This has just been a brief summary on the way I have things up. Maybe it inspired you to, check out another way that you could do things. But stick around. There'll be more. See ya.